Afternoon, peeps. Good afternoon, everyone. It's been a while, hasn't it? It feels like I've not done a vid in ages. That's probably because I haven't done a vid in ages. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you're all doing okay. Don't forget, please hit that subscribe button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget as well to like and share the vids. I want to share with you something so random. I'm obsessed right now with this series on Amazon Prime called Blacklist. Obsessed. It's ridiculous. I'm so obsessed with it, I've not even watched Top Boy yet. And everyone's talking about Top Boy and everyone's sending me images of this guy that reminds them of Tony Bellew. I've not even watched Top Boy because I'm obsessed with this thing. It's on Amazon Prime. It's got like, I think it's got so many episodes. Like it's got different series. I think, is that the right term? Series, right? So it's got like 10 series. And I think every series has got something like 24 episodes or something like that. I'm going to be fucking obsessed with it for about a year then. I've got like a year's worth of bloody Blacklist to watch. So yeah, if you haven't watched it, make sure you do because it's really, really good. I thought I'd just share that with you. Bit random, I know. I've just got back from Barcelona. Actually, that's a lie. I got back yesterday from Barcelona. I was out there for the Zone and Matchroom. Pretty good card, right? I think a lot of people weren't very interested in the card. Then all of a sudden, I was looking on social media and I was going to say it was trending. It wasn't trending, but people were talking about it. Some really good 50-50 scraps on that card. I enjoyed it from top to bottom. It was a 5-fight card, which I think is fantastic. You don't need 7, 8, 9, 10. You don't sometimes. No one, that's too much. It's too much. No one wants to get there at 4 in the afternoon and go home at 10 in the evening. Sport doesn't work like that. You need it short and sweet. And it was that. And I thought all the fights were very, very good. I loved that one between Samuel Carmon, the Spanish flyweight, and what was his name again? Cordova from Mexico. That was a war. They could do that again. But yeah, man, it delivered. It really did. Credit to the matchmaker. I mean, look, sometimes you can have all the best will in the world and put all the best fighters together and it just doesn't deliver. Sometimes they're duds or they're chess matches. All these guys and girls just came in there and just gave their all. So it was a great fight card. I fucked up a bit. I'll let you into this actually. So when I present for the Zone, obviously Laura Woods normally presents, but when she's not there, I jump in and we're just reading from auto cue. So in front of us, we're just reading. Obviously, you have to kind of think on your feet because anything could happen, but most times you're reading. So I've been given like my running order a couple of days before, and I'm like, yeah, this is quite good. This is easy. I've done research, but I've not gone too deep because I think I'm just going to read. It was auto cue. I get there, no auto cue. So basically, and it's like 10 pages of notes for the whole show. I've then got to now remember that all off head. So I don't know if you guys watched it, you probably saw me. I had my paper in my hand because I was literally just doing that quickly, remembering it and then saying it. Ooh, it wasn't easy, but we got through it. All right, let's see what there is to talk about. We've not done a video in a few days. I am going to do a separate video on Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall. I'm liking that now. So we'll do a separate video on that. And I'm going to do another video today as well, maybe on Dillian Whyte, Tyson Fury, because we're only 3 weeks away. In fact, less than that. 2 weeks and 6 days away from that happening, Wembley Stadium. I don't know how many it is, 90,000, 100,000, whatever it is. It's epic. I can't wait. So we're going to do 2 separate videos. So we're going to give you 3 videos today, which is rare. We're going to do that. So let's see what's going on in the world of boxing. What's this? Bit here on Florian Marcoux. Give me Amir Khan next. I'm going to break him. Obviously, Florian Marcoux got a good win yesterday. It's weird because Ben Shalom has spoken about this. Ben Shalom's the one that's lit the fire underneath this by saying Amir Khan should fight Florian Marcoux next before he then takes another step up. Amir Khan is not fighting Florian Marcoux. I think Florian Marcoux is going to go to Albania and have a fight there, and then he's going to come back and fight Chris Congo. But what does Amir Khan get from fighting Florian Marcoux? Like what, when you kind of weigh up the risk reward, what's the reward? Is it pay-per-view? No. Does he get any plaudits if he beats Marcoux? No. Will people laugh if he loses? Yes. There's nothing to gain, like zero for Amir Khan to gain from fighting Florian Marcoux. I still find it crazy that we're even talking about Amir Khan having a fight. Like Amir Khan, for me, that's it. Like, enjoy your retirement. maybe even set up an Amir Khan Promotions, which he's got, but that was more just him. I'm talking about set it up and, you know, bring fighters through. A lot of fighters were signed for Amir Khan, loads of fighters. So maybe you should just do that rather than thinking about having another fight again. A bit here about Sandor Martin. Obviously, I was covering his fight in Spain, got the win over Jose Felix Jr. Looked good. Sandor Martin's a very, very good boxer. Ticks the boxes and everything. I don't know what he's special at. I was watching him thinking, okay, what's he really good at? Defensively, he's quite sound, but he's that close to a world title. And I think, does he have enough to compete with the very best at 140 once Josh goes up? And look, Teofimo Lopez, I know some people might say he's not the very best because he's not at a fight, but he's elite, he'll be very good at 140. Jack Catterall, Zepeda, Prograis, Ramirez, who's staying at the weight class. Does he have enough to beat those guys? I don't know. I need to see one more and then let him go. One more. I'm trying to think who he could fight that's just below those guys that will give him a good fight. Not sure. I'll think of a name during this video. Ryan Garcia, break from boxing was good. I've matured, hungry to be the best. I begin his dynasty, or dynasty, as Americans say. Look, we'll see what he does. It's been a long time. He's not fought since Luke Campbell. Emmanuel Tago, who he's fighting, shouldn't give him too much problems. He just needs to be active. I would have preferred it to be Isaac Cruz. So then you could have done that comparison with the way Gervonta Davis narrowly beat Isaac Cruz, but we'll see. First fight back, new trainer, a lot of ring rust, a lot. Mentally, we don't know where he is as well. So let's just see what he's got when he comes back. Let's have a look. This is interesting. Lauren Price and Karis Artenstall have gone pro with Boxer. They've gone pro with Boxer. I've heard that, you know, Boxer are chucking a lot of money at these fighters, like a lot of money. I thought they would have gone pro with DAZN, but hey, they've gone pro with Boxer, which is, again, I mean, the market's competitive. This is a fighter's market. So much. Like, fighters are winning right now. Like, the broadcasters really aren't winning, like, because they're having to pay these fighters, and, you know, I don't know if the fighters are doing the numbers yet, but the fighters are winning. I mean, both of those girls would have had options and offers from Probellum. They would have had offers from Queensbury. Well, actually, scrap that. They wouldn't, because Frank... No one talks about Frank not putting on female fights, by the way, but he wouldn't have done that. DAZN would have definitely offered them something. So, yeah, I mean, they've got options, and they've chose Sky. So let's see what Sky can do with them. GGG's back. Gennady Golovkin is back next week. I don't know what time the fight is. I don't know the time difference in Japan, so I'm not quite sure if we're going to do a live watch along for it, but it's great to see, I think, one of the greatest middleweights ever back in the ring. I've never heard so many people critique a fighter who's only just lost once, and even that once was quite debatable to Canelo. But yet, I don't know, I don't think history is going to be kind to Golovkin. I'm the kind of person, I don't like to go back and look at someone's resume 15 years later and be like, yeah, but he didn't beat that person. I just like to kind of be within the time, if that makes any sense. Like, what was I thinking when Golovkin had that run from 2012 when he beat Protzka? Remember, that was, I think, his first kind of standout one. That run from 2012 to 2018, the second Canelo fight. What did I think of him? And I thought he was a killer. I thought he was a wrecking machine. I thought at the time he was one of the most feared middleweights, feared fighters in a long time. Like, there were two fighters that were very feared in and around that period, him and Kovalev. And I mentioned the Kovalev one because this is how scary Golovkin was. Golovkin dropped Kovalev in sparring. It was widely known. Golovkin in middleweight, dropping the most feared light heavyweight at the time in Kovalev. Golovkin was a wrecking machine. And I don't think he's going to get the credit for that run. I don't think so, because people are going to be like, oh, he fought B-level fighters. And he beat Canelo first time round. He did. So the run for him, the run would have been Canelo, Jacobs, in terms of elite fighters. Canelo, Jacobs, Derevyanchenko is not really elite, but it's a decent level fighter. Because he doesn't have Canelo on his CV as a win, I feel like he's not got respect. But he's got it from me, because I think he is an incredible fighter, or was an incredible fighter. I guess we're going to find out in the next I don't know, a few months. I don't think we're going to find out much against Murata, because I think there's enough left in the tank with Golovkin to run through Murata. I really do. You talk about, it's funny because I think of Golovkin not being active. Golovkin's not fought since December 2020, I think it was, against Kamil Zeramata. It's a long time. Murata's even worse. Go look at Murata's record. He's been very inactive. But good amateur as Murata, was upgraded to WBA champion, which I'm not a fan of. But look, he's a WBA champion. It's a unification fight. And it should be a good scrap. I look at someone like Golovkin and I think, at his age, what's the best thing? Is it best to not have so many fights, and kind of let your body heal, work on a few different things with Jonathan Banks? I still feel like that it's not as sync as it should be yet. Or is it best to be active? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. After the Derevyanchenko fight, where he nearly, for the first time I've ever seen him in real trouble, I thought he needed a rest then. Now, though, I think the rest has almost been too long. It's been too long. He's 39 now, Golovkin. Look, 39 in today's world of sports science isn't that old anymore. It really isn't. 39 of 10 years ago isn't 39 of today. But 39, having taken quite a bit of punishment, is a wear and tear on your body. So I'm not quite sure what Golovkin we're going to see. But regardless of what Golovkin turns up, I'm going to always give him respect. His record deserves respect. He is an unbelievable boxer, pro and amateur. Unbelievable. His best performance, I think, was the first Canelo fight. It's weird because you watch Canelo now, and Canelo is the aggressor in fights, on the front foot. Watch Canelo against Golovkin, he's on the back foot fighting. Not many people can put Canelo on the back foot. Golovkin was that. But in terms of an absolute clinical performance. And look, the name I'm going to mention probably won't hold much weight because I don't rate him so highly. But at the time when Golovkin fought him, I thought it was very decent. That fight against David Lemieux, where he basically just decides to win that fight on a jab. A jab. He was incredible. And if he wins the fight, and he wins it well, it does help the sell for the trilogy of Canelo. If he struggles, and he looks old like he did against Derevyanchenko, then the sell for that Canelo trilogy is going to be very, very difficult. He's got to win and he's got to look dominant, and I think he will. I think he's going to look absolutely fantastic, and I think he's going to break Murata in half. I really do. I think Murata's feet will be good for the first couple of rounds, but even, look, Golovkin's feet were slow anyway. They've slowed down, but they were slow. But you can't get away from him. He has a way of, every time you think you're out of the pocket, bang, hook. Every time you think you're getting away, he throws this to the body. And he does that kind of weird on the temple shot. Massive fan of Gennady Golovkin, really am. Again, I like to go with what I saw. And what I saw when he was coming through from 2012 to 2018 was a fucking wrecking machine. Let's give him some respect. All right, what else we got here? Haney, Kambosos can talk all the shit he wants. He won't be ready. Kambosos will be ready. Say what you want about Kambosos. And I've seen a bit of a swing here from people loving Kambosos doing all the talking to people thinking he talks too much. He's selling the fight. He's selling the fight well. Kambosos reminds me of a Conor McGregor when he entered the UFC. Very confident, very assured of himself. Every time you kind of think that he isn't going to deliver, he just delivers. Like, let's not forget, Kambosos beat Teofimo Lopez. I almost feel like people forget that. When people are talking about Devin Haney being able to beat him, he beat Teofimo. He went to America and beat Teofimo Lopez. Dropped him. This guy can fight. He talks, but he can fight, and he'll be ready. Haney has to go to his backyard, and by all accounts, it's going to be a crazy atmosphere in there. So look, good luck to Haney. I think it's a close fight. I would edge towards Kambosos. I will. If it's a 50-50 fight, which I think it is, I would go to the man that is coming off a really good highlight career win, plus is at home. So I'm going to go with Kambosos in this one, but it's a great fight. Canelo on facing Bivol. He's a good fighter, a champion. He has something to offer. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, Canelo will be favourite against bloody King Kong right now, but don't sleep on Dimitri Bivol. I think a lot of people are maybe looking at that performance against Craig Richards, where I think he didn't come out of second or third gear. And there was a long layoff in the lead up to it. And that's not disrespecting Craig Richards, who we're going to get on the green chair in a couple of days. But he's naturally bigger than Canelo. Everyone is, to be honest with you. He's unbeaten. There's no wear and tear on him. It's not like you're looking at him like a Kovalev where you thought he's done. Like as soon as Canelo picked Kovalev, I was like, oh, come on. You could see from the Anthony Yard fight that he's done. There's nothing like that with Dimitri Bivol. Nothing like that at all. This guy's coming to win. I sometimes question the fighters that Canelo fights. Like, do they really believe, like genuinely believe they can win? Like, I didn't think Callum Smith did. I think Billy Joe Saunders did and Caleb Plant did. He does even more. So I think it's going to be, a really, really good fight and one that I can't wait for. What else do we have to talk about? A bit here about Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce reacts to Joshua footage leak. Remember Joshua? I don't know how that came out, by the way. A bit about them sparring. He's letting his ego go. I'd love to fight him. I just think that's tailor-made for AJ. Tailor-made, that fight. Honestly, like AJ's confidence in that is incredible, which makes me believe that AJ's had his way with him in sparring quite a lot. Zach Parker. I think I'm too big, too strong. I'll get Andrade out of there. We'll see. I watched a bit of their press conference the other day. It was live, yeah. I think I'm correct in thinking it was live. Not many people watching it. Which, I mean, I hope the fight does really good numbers, especially because they're going to Pride Park, which is what, 35,000. I mean, I didn't realise Zach Parker was that big a draw. And look, I hope he is, because I want this to be a big fight for him. I think it's a big fight. It's good to get Demetrius Andrade over here as well. But I wonder if they've maybe pushed the boat out a bit too much by going to Pride Park. Like, again, you guys might know a bit more about Zach Parker than I do, but has he ever sold out an arena? Like, surely you've got to do that a couple of times before you go to a stadium. But we'll see. We'll see. It was a shame that Demetrius Andrade didn't fly out to do the press conference. The idea of him on Zoom and two big screens is awful. I hated it. Didn't work. I mean, let's get him out. Let's fly him out. It doesn't have to be private jet like a Dillian White situation, but let's get him out here. Let them do a face-to-face. Let's really, a bit of pushing, a bit of shoving, whatever. Let's sell the fight. Him on screens either side just didn't work at all for me. But we'll see. But here about Josh Warrington recovering from a broken jaw. Hopes for Santa Cruz in the US. Josh Warrington got a crazy reception when he went to Ellen Road to show his belts. It was weird seeing Ebony Bridges get a reception as well, just because there's some Leeds fans I know that will have no idea who she is. Like, and I saw the comments, like Leeds put it up on their Twitter page, like, let's welcome our two world champions. And I thought, let me just go into the comment section here. And some people were receptive of it. Some were like, who the hell is this? Like, what? But look, credit to her, man. She's really done well. I think she's changing the opinion of people as well. But look, go back to Josh. I mean, look, I understand why he wants to go to America. I get it. He's done Ellen Road. He's done First Direct Arena. He's done Headingley. He now wants a trip abroad. He wants all his Leeds fans to go abroad as well. My fear, and look, maybe they don't care about this, but if Josh Warrington was to fight Santa Cruz, I'd favour Santa Cruz. If Lee Wood, who I really like, was to fight Navarrete, I would favour Navarrete. Even though Lee Wood's very, very dangerous, as we saw until the last minute. So it's almost like, and don't get me wrong, look, these are great fights. But I would rather them two fight each other, unification, and then the winner goes to America and takes one of these guys on. I almost feel like they could go to America and both lose. But so for me, go to Ellen Road or the City Ground, sell it out, which they will, unify, and then get that trip to America. But I don't know. And I think it's the bigger money fight as well. I think it's way bigger, way bigger. All right, a couple more bits. Danny Garcia on Terence Crawford. That's a big fight. We have history. He needs somebody like me. Oh, all of a sudden, it's a big fight. All of a sudden, you have history. All of a sudden, he needs somebody like you. What a disgrace. Danny Garcia, I remember this. I remember it. You can find the interview on YouTube. When he's spoken about Terence Crawford, maybe about 3 years ago, Danny's like, I don't even care about the WBO belt. Who cares about that shit? All of a sudden now it's a big fight. Look, Terence looks like he's about to sign a 2-fight deal with PBC. Good luck to him. Make your money, Terence. And maybe it is a Danny Garcia. Maybe it's a Danny Garcia fight and then it's the winner of Spence Ugas. But yeah, it's funny now that he's about to sign a deal with PBC. Now the PBC fighter's like, yeah, let's do it. Even Errol Spence was like, yeah, you know, it's a fight I want, undisputed, blah, blah, blah. I like it. I like the fight. Danny was speaking about going up to 154 pounds. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. There was some talk about Danny Garcia versus Kell Brook at a catch weight. Doesn't look like that's going to happen either. So, yeah, why not? Why not? Anything else? Conor Benn, if Josh Taylor comes to 147, that could be a massive domestic fight. Yeah, not yet. Needs to be built. It's weird. Josh is going up to Josh is going up to 147 without the excitement of Josh going up to 147. Like, because he's going up after the Jack Catterall loss, some might call it, it doesn't have that same, I don't know. Like before, like say Josh destroyed Catterall, like a lot of people, including myself, thought he would. You're talking Josh versus Terence. I mean, that's it won't happen because of Top Rank, but that's the fight you're trying to sell. Now it's almost like, who's Josh fighting at 147? It's weird. It's weird how he's come out of a win, but I feel like his stock's dropped a little bit. He'll get it back. People will forget. That's what we do in life. But as for Conor Benn versus Josh Taylor, not yet. Conor Benn's obviously got that Van Heerden fight to get through April 16th, and then I hope it's the Kell Brook fight. That's the one I want. But we'll see. Loads of stories. I keep thinking that's it, and then there's more that pop up. Errol Spence in top form, putting in work for Yordenis Ugas. Yeah, he does. There was a clip circling. By the way, it looks really big as well. There was a clip circling of him sort of just hitting the pads, and it was so, what's the word to describe it? So clean. Like it was so, like just perfect. It wasn't like Mayweather, but it was just like, it reminded me a bit of old school Gerald McClellan, like hit the pads. You know, you get all this new pad work when it's very much sort of the Anthony Yard, old Floyd, and that obviously works. That tipper tapper shit really works, but I prefer someone just hit the pads. And I mean, you hit the pads. What we've seen now of a lot of trainers, I've noticed, is they hit the pads. You know, have you seen that? So, and it's like, you know, you're like, just hold the pads and let that motherfucker hit them. And that's what his coach was doing. And Errol was really clean with the work. And I loved it. I can't wait for it. All right. Anything else before we pack up and leave? Danny Garcia. We'll end on this one, actually. Danny Garcia on fighting Jaron Ennis. He has his own journey. I have mine. I don't want to accuse Danny of a duck, because Danny's CV will suggest that he ain't ducking no one. But yeah, it's going to be difficult for Jaron Ennis to get a fight because everyone seems to not really want it. Like Terence will fight him, but then it's that risk reward thing. What are you putting up, Jaron? You're putting up a belt, you're putting up big money, and unless you're putting up those kind of things, people aren't going to take the risk, and it is a risk in fighting him. All right, guys, that is that. Peace and love.